Let's look at Pasco's new ballistic cart accessory. Here it is. It comes with two balls and a connecting wire so you can connect it to a smart cart. And you connect it this way, and these help control the aim so you're guaranteed to shoot it straight up and down. And those are the same balls that look like they come with the original ballistics cart from Pasco that I've got. Now I can show you that we can compare the two. But you'll need a cart to put it on. This one is not a smart cart, but it is one that we can take and screw this onto, and it does it pretty easily that we connect this to the cart. Set like that. I just popped it up there. And I like to use this one without the plungers just so I can roll it. But you can put it to the one with the plungers and have it fire off and then trigger the device and shoot the ball up in the air. Let's go ahead and put this on a track and test it and see what it looks like, and then compare it to the older model and see how they compare with each other. All right, so here we go. Okay, so here is the cart on the track. You can adjust the aim with these two red knobs, and there is a wire that connects into here that you can connect into a smart cart to combine the two, and you get extra features depending on the software that you're using. This one by itself, the way it's triggered, it's got a time release that will fire after 1 second. So you can load the ball. I've already charged this because you don't have to replace batteries. You just charge it for a time, and they give you a wire to charge it with. But you hold down the release, and after 1 second it should fire. We'll see where this one goes. It landed right back in it, so that was nice. So I don't have to adjust it too much. But you can adjust it with these knobs to make sure that you're landing back in the middle of this. So let's back up and then connect it and give it a push and see what it looks like. Okay? Okay, let's see how this works. I want to load that. I want to pull it back here, and I want to hit the button, and it's going to fire after 1 second. So I've got to judge my push to make sure we have enough runway. So here we go. Push the button. Give it a shove. Whoa. That fired a little bit quicker than I thought. So let's maybe try it again. I tried to pause just a second to give it that time, but maybe I don't need to do that. So let's go ahead and get that. Nice. Okay, so you don't have to really pause very long because it's just 1 second. So one more time. Hit the button, give it a push. Very nice. So it does an excellent job. And with the connector, you can actually connect this into one of their smart carts. And depending on which software you use, if you use the Pasco Capstone, you can actually program this to fire at a certain distance after it rolls a certain distance or a certain time. And with the Pasco Spark, you can trigger it for a certain distance, I believe. And or you can use the button to fire after 1 second. Either one will work. Now the old cart used a photo gate sensor to trigger it, and you had to attach this to your track where that little tab would trigger the sensor. So I want to take this one off, and I am going to go ahead and turn it off, and I want to attach this to my track right here. And then turn this one on when it's, now this one's got more of a sponge. This has more of a foam, which I actually think works maybe just a little bit better. It doesn't seem to give as much bounce. But if I put this on here, load a ball into it, and if I still have it centered properly, it works just as good. Now, the one thing about the old one had an attachment where you can hook up this thing that looks like a cane that's actually an electromagnet. And you've got these pink balls that have an iron core that you connect to the electromagnet, and the electromagnet will release when that photo gate was blocked. And that was good to drop something straight into this or drop something over the table onto the floor. This one doesn't have that. I don't know if they can add it on or have something as an attachment later, but that would be a nice thing to add on to this. But I like that you have options of firing at a certain time or at a certain distance. So you don't need this extra attachment. That's something else that you can be lost. But you can go ahead and get this off of your track. One less thing to lose. In this one, as I said, you can hook it to the plunger one to fire it off. And again, depending on the software, you can have it set to fire off at a certain time or a certain distance if you got the capstone program. But even if you got one of these dumb carts like this one, after you load it, hit that button and you've got 1 second. And it bounced out that time. But other times it did show that it does land back into the cart, which is the most important thing. So, one more time. Trigger, push, and right back in. Sometimes, just like on this one, if you set it up and the ball actually hits the hard plastic in the center, it bounces off. Probably the same thing with this one. If you manage to hit it dead center, it might bounce out like that one previously did. But otherwise, it will get the job done about showing that horizontal motion and vertical motion are independent of each other. I think it's a handy little thing to have in your set of physics demonstrations. Thank you, and watch for more physics teachers' reviews of equipment. Bye.